Hi all, we are having today AG, the founder of UBD Network. Hi AG, thank you so much for coming.
Hi, thank you so much, Malika, for having me, and excited to tell you about our project.
Yeah, please, go on.
So we are UBD Network, and we offer an exclusiveness of inheritance and long-term investments with no human factors involved. And today, we can see that the challenging issues for the whole market basically come to major 4 points. The first one is that the huge amount of funds been lost, and actually more than 4 million Bitcoins are lost. And we are not even mentioning any other coins, so just Bitcoins. And that was happening simply due to absence of tools that allows to pass on and inherit crypto. The second one are human factors, and they are the main reasons for all crypto winters. And you may ask why, but when you refer to stat, you see that crisis emerges every time any middleman is involved in direct interaction between funds and its owner. Because when you have some dunderheads running your funds, it increases the chance of the risk. The third one, decentralization and decentralized projects. They are still run and managed by human factors. And it's really funny to see how centralized companies, big companies like Binance or any others, they are talking about decentralization while they are the main players on centralized market. So this is really interesting how things are working. And there is no real proof of reserves concept yet. So we can see that a lot of companies, the other funny thing is that mostly centralized companies are talking about proof of funds. And it's really interesting to see what they offer as tools for their backing reserves. So in my opinion, every project, every idea that it was proposed to the market should resolve pain of users, pain of the market. And I want to tell you that we have started to work on our project last year when the market faced the first crisis. And with the situation that has happened in the end of the last year, FTX, as well as the Silicon Valley Bank situation. So while these crises are happening, every time we have simply noticed that we are actually on the right path to provide the market with a product that will not allow users to be scammed simply because their funds won't have any human factors involved and will be managed with a clear and transparent algorithm directly by the owner of these funds. And this is why we at UBD Network offer, I mentioned 4 main problems of today's market. I'm going to try to answer to some kind of solutions we came up with. And the first one is that the trust system that we have allows to pass on inheritance and to protect digital assets from any loss. The second one is that we do not have any human factors involved or any kind of middleman to be involved into management of users' funds. And at the same time, we offer passive income. So if you create your own trust and you have your funds in your trust, they're not going to be just sitting there idle and doing nothing. They're going to be, working for you, providing you 10.5% APY, and they're not going to be having any lockups. So if you want to take your funds back anytime, you have your right to do that. And at the same time, we're offering passive income for UBD Network validators. So we are making sure that the system is working absolutely clear without our involvement as the founders, as the creators of this system. So our goal is to eliminate human factors, since it will allow our users to grow their long-term financial stability. And this is the main thing what we want to provide and what we want to offer to the market. So UBD Network is based on 2 pillars, UBD and UBDN. So United Blockchain Dollar, this is where the project name comes from, is an algorithmic stablecoin that is pegged to the US dollar and also backed with BTC, Ether, USDT, and DAI. On the other side, we have UBDN. So since UBD Network has proof of stake model, UBDN allows its owners to become keepers with a fixed monthly income. Keepers are people, this is how we call our validators. So with UBD, our users are able to create their own trust, protect their funds, pay maintenance fees, and stake their own funds. So so they work for them, on the user's benefit. And on the other side, UBDN, you as a holder, Malika, you can become a keeper to receive monthly payouts for the maintenance of created trusts and also receive commission for validation of the UBD network transactions.
Interesting. And how does that work?
We do have, as I have already mentioned, UBDN. To become a keeper, you need to have 1024 UBDN, and you need to keep those tokens in your wallet and not to move them. At the same time, you as a keeper has to work to validate all the transactions. But we have a very good news. So our MVP is based on Ether. So since Ethereum network gonna be providing all the validation process, our validators, our keepers, they do not have to have their own system, their own computer power network. They do not have to have any kind of equipment to run a node, because it will be run on Ether. And once we, switch from MVP to our product that is based on UBD network, on our own network, only then our keepers, they have to start their equipment and to make sure that the validation is going on to make payouts. So at the same time, I want to tell you about UBD Network Attractor. That is a 100% transparent and 24/7 available proof of reserve system that provides the real backing for UBD with 3 independently functioning elements: Sandbox 1, Sandbox 2, and the Treasury. So total amounts of funds in the Sandbox 1 and the Treasury provides the proof of reserves, while Sandbox 2 serves as stabilization fund and enters into work only to align the ratio between the amount of issued UBDs and its backing in the attractor. So we just want to make sure that people see that their funds are absolutely secure. So every time people buying UBD, they see that United Blockchain Dollar literally means something, and they technically exchange their 1 UBD for example, 1 USDT. At the same time, this USDT will be getting back to them while they gonna return UBD to the system. And the amount of UBDs that is returned back to the system is gonna be burned down in exchange for the amount of funds that were withdrawn from the attractor. So the main thing here is to provide 24/7 access to everyone to see that here is the amount of UBD and here is the amount of crypto in the project that is backing the amount of UBD, because we don't want to have things where stable coin that has to be stable is not stable. And these are basically the main things that we offering. So UBD to provide our users with possibility to create their own trusts, to pay for the trust maintenance, and to make sure that their own funds are safe. Let's talk about safety. So, couple times I got a question from our community, like, why do you need trusts? Like, I can share my seed phrase with my friend, with my wife, with my husband, with my kids, but every family has its own story, and you do know that your own funds are your own while you are in control of your funds. If something happens and you are not in control of your own funds, then either they're going to be lost because no one is going to be having access to it, either there may be some kind of disputes in your family, between your family members, because everyone's going to be like, okay, like this is mine, no, this is mine, this is the half, this is another half. And we don't want that happening, with the funds that were accumulated during your or my lifetime, to our family members. And this is why UBD Network Trust Builder is a special thing that allows you to input the scenario you want by yourself. So for example, you can say that if I don't enter the system for 2 years, for 1 month, for 3 months, whatever, you input this scenario and you're the boss of the scenario. You decide what happens to your funds. They can be sent to this wallet you mentioned in your contract, it can be sent to multiple wallets you want, or at the same time, it can be, keep on working in your trust, working with staking that provides us, I have already mentioned, up to 10.5 APY, and you can get, staking payouts for your friends, for your family, for the organizations you support. And this is the basic model of trust. This is the main thing. And this is where the trust idea comes from, because unfortunately nowadays we have private banking companies, they are very rich and the entrance fee are really high. So to enter this trust model, you need to have at least a couple $1 million to be able to enter to the market. So, so your funds are protected, so your funds are not to be lost, and etc. But at the same time, we have human factors. We can see that nowadays a lot of, regulation is getting changed regarding trust foundations, regarding trust companies. And in the end, if something happens to the company that is managing your funds, the only thing you get is the protection from the court. Come on, are we serious? Are we really serious about going to court and saying like, hey, I had some amount of funds, that I invested like a couple years ago or like 10 years ago. I didn't pay taxes on it yet, but I will, I promise you. And the reason why I came to you is to help me get my money back, because the company I entrusted these funds has got bankrupted or something like that, no one's gonna protect you. And we have to understand that government is trying to do their best, but we see that we get their worst. And this is unfortunately not the way things has to be, but we do understand that everything is in our hand and we can input our control even if something happens and we are not in the control, because the blockchain smart contract gonna be controlling things that we have implemented. And these are the main reasons, these are the key features of United Blockchain Dollar Network, UBD Network.
And if I change my mind, if it's written into the protocol and
yes,
I change my mind, what happens?
Of course. Basically what we created here, what we are still working on actually, is to give people opportunity to create their own smart contract, even though they are not developers, even they do not know how it works. Because on our user interface, we simply asking them a form to to answer all the questions and to write down the thing they want to be, how the scenario is working. And at the same time, you can alter your trust conditions as much as you want, because we do know that usually, life is very unstable. Today you love this person, tomorrow you hate this person, and disputes happening, different things going on. And what I want to also share with you, that if you're a user of a private banking company that helped you to create your own trust, and for example you are married, you love your husband, you love your kids, and you're saying that all the accumulated funds they will go to my husband, to my kids, and that's it. And then something happens, God forbid, I wish you best of luck, but okay, let's not talk about you, about someone else. Something happens to that person and that person doesn't love her husband anymore. She will go to the private banking company. It will take her 6 months. She will have to provide all the documents, all the papers regarding her situation, regarding her financial situation, regarding her everything. And it will take also at least 30K to rewrite the trust conditions.
Wow.
And sometimes when you have to act fast, when you have to move quickly, you do not have that amount of time. 6 months to wait is not okay thing to do, because you have to be very fast with money, not to be slow. And this is basically the main reason what we offer to our users is the speed. They can change their conditions. They can change or close down their trust anytime they want. They can start up their new trust. They can rewrite their conditions and scenarios as much time as they want, with a price not 30K at least, without need to wait for it. It can be done in 2-3 minutes with possibility to alter it later too. So basically, these are the main thing that we are giving to everyone who has at least one UBD, because our main thing is to make sure that everyone is able to create their own trust. Because today you have one USDT and tomorrow you have 10 because you made it from that one. No matter if you did it on your meme coin or you did it on on the great infrastructure project, it's still your own funds that you have accumulated, and hopefully you pay taxes on it. But these are your funds and they have to be managed by you. You don't want to be upset that some curly hair guy is saying right before the Christmas that, sorry, I lost your funds. You don't want this happening in your life. And if that happened, you don't want to repeat this. So this is why UBD Network is working. And actually, so we plan to have next week, we're going to have a raffle in our community on Discord. So if you do not have any UBDNs and you are not a keeper, you still have opportunity to become a keeper, because we're going to have a raffle next week. You just have to do something and you will get 1024 UBDN. That is technically, some amount of money, and you can be a keeper and be sure that you will have a passive income. If you have your equipment, you will definitely have it even later after UBD Network comes to its own network. But before that, just keeping your UBDNs in your wallet and basically do nothing is enough for start, is really enough to start your own passive income thing. So just to let you know, even literally you can join our community and do that. So
good to know. Thanks.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask if is it going to be related to any jurisdiction?
So UBD Network, well, of course, we as a company, based somewhere doing something, we live in a legal world and we have to do everything legally. But regarding UBD Network, exactly UBD Network, I want to tell you that UBD Network is not related to any kind of country. It is not related, and it doesn't work into legal, it doesn't work into a legal field, because it does work into blockchain. It does work. It is simply just a smart protocol, and you can use it or you cannot use it. You decide. It is just a system. It is just a software that is available to anyone, and rights on it public, and everyone can use it. Everyone can start working with it without any kind of restrictions, without any kind of limitations, depending on your race or etc. So everyone can use it. But of course, we as people who working on that, we highly recommend to follow all the basic recommendations of your country. I mean, legal recommendations. So if you have to pay taxes, if you have somewhere to inform the government that you, for example, invested in something or you started to work on some kind of software, you have to do that because it's your own responsibility. And this is what we do. We talk about that in our white paper. We call it vision. We talk about that everywhere on our website. And yes, but I also want to mention that our estimated market size exceeds 100 billion, since it's obvious that there is an increasing demand for transparent systems and never before presented features such as trusts or a tractor. And we do understand that all USDT users, all NFT holders, they will definitely come to use the platform to see how it works. And we do understand that UBD network is the next big thing into, securing personal assets and, bringing more proof, transparency, and, making sure that blockchain is viable, making sure that blockchain is competitive compared to today's regulations, compared to today's system that exists in our world.
Cool. Yeah. And who would be your target audience? Where are your clients from?
So,
majority, I mean.
You mean from what regions, from what countries?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So we, as I have already mentioned, we do not have any kind of limitations. So anyone can start using our system. Anyone can become user of UBD network or UBD holder. Basically, people who come to our community, they are from more than 60 or 70 countries, from all over the places, and they come from basically all our people. They come from our vision values. This is what I would answer, because they do understand that they want to accumulate their long-term financial plans. They want to make sure that their funds going to be secured, and they want to make sure that everything they do is not in vain. So I can tell that a couple of days ago I was talking to guys from Argentina, from Indonesia, from Germany, from Congo, from literally from everywhere. So I do not know how to answer this question, but we'll see how things are going. I think we're gonna have a poll in our Discord server to figure out where exactly our community is coming from.
Yeah. I just was thinking about that. You offer the ability to transfer cryptocurrency through inheritance. So where people think about it, or are they old people maybe, or young people?
Well, we have to know, you definitely know that mostly crypto users, they are from their 20s to maybe 45, 50s. Of course, my grandmother, who is 68, she doesn't use blockchain or any crypto devices or crypto tools. But well, I do know that some Japanese communities are definitely into that, because but I wouldn't be telling the country, because I know for sure that a lot of people thinking about their future, smart and wise people, do understand that the youth we have, it's not forever, and something is going on with us, with our bodies, and we're gonna get older and end up somewhere we may not want. But despite this fact, you can still leave some legacy after you. You can support projects that you love. For example, if you love the Worldwide Foundation, the Panda one, if you love pandas, for example, you can dedicate some of your funds, monthly payouts to this foundation, or to support kids who want to go and study in the university, but unfortunately do not have enough funds to do that. And you can support anything you want. Any values that you share can be supported with UBD network. And our main goal is, for our long-term goal, our short-term goal is to make sure that everything works perfectly, for our users. But our long-term goal is to make sure that people gonna be living some kind of, legacy after them, and their funds gonna be used in good. And this is basically what we're doing here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the answer. And it was very interesting. Thank you so much for this talk. And I think the project is super interesting, and I wish you all the luck. And Thank you so much, and see you later. We will stay in touch.
Thank you so much, Malika. See you soon.